What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P. We are back once again for LNU. Shout out to everybody involved. Shout out to Woodward Heavyweights, man. They shouted me out on their show. I was listening in the car. I was a little bit behind dealing with people. You understand what I'm saying? But shout out to them. Shout out to them talking about my Browns take on their show. So I appreciate that. Easy spin Mo Rags. They the homies. Chris, Nick in the sound booth, tailgate wins. You already know what it is. All those people are the homies. But as I said, when you see me in front of your TV, you know that one thing is for certain and three things are for sure. Number one is that the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. Number two is that we came to give you stats and not none of that static. And number three, perhaps the most important of all, we want to make sure that you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And the way that you do that is you smash that like button, you subscribe, you share, you let everybody know what is going on around here in Motor City Cats land and in LNU land and all these things. And after you've done that, you've kept your Lions news pragmatic. We've got a packed show today because we got some things to talk about. And it's all about the training camp. That's right. Training camp day one is in the books. Okay. We got some observations. We got opinions. We got to talk about all of it. We got injury news. We got updates. We got some Dan Campbell talking about some stuff. I don't have the sound. Didn't have time to chop that up. I know I need to be doing that. So hopefully next Monday, whatever sound is available from that day, I will have it. But anyway, let's just kind of start talking about some of the things that came out this weekend. I did do a short about this situation. Levi Onwuzurike, and I know you've heard about it, but obviously I haven't given my take about it, and that's why y'all here. Y'all here to talk about what I'm talking about, and y'all here to listen to what I'm talking about and have your opinions heard about that. So what up, though? Just a fan. What up, though? Who's it? Sailor Outlaw. George is hot. What up, though? TaylorMade Media. We're going to get to the chat today. I'm sure there's a lot that y'all have to say. So, of course, we will be getting to your opinions so that they can be heard. But Levi Onwuzurike, man, listen, I don't want to come on here and this is not horn tooting. This is getting a bit ridiculous. Levi Onwuzurike signed a contract with a hurt knee, and nobody knew what it was. And they just thought it was just kind of the nicks and the bruises. I'm guessing they did MRIs and just nothing showed up, and it apparently wasn't getting any better. These are the words of Dan Campbell. Apparently it wasn't getting any better, and then, they looked at it right before camp, and they said, well, he had to have that surgery. He said it sucks for him. He was ready to go, blah, blah, blah. That's listen. We've been talking about the pass rush all offseason. Some people are tired of talking about the pass rush. This is why. For those of you trust Brad Holmes, Brad knows exactly what he's doing. You're not a GM. He knows better than you. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Here's the thing. And we're going to talk about someone else as well. We're going to put in here Ennis Rakestraw. Ennis Rakestraw got hurt the first day of training camp. What was Ennis Rakestraw's problem last season during training camp? Injuries. Why wasn't he able to get on the field and stay on the field last season? Injuries. Mostly soft tissue injuries, hamstring problems, so on and so forth. Y'all know his, injury history, missed the pre-draft process with core muscle surgery, all these other things. And this Rakestraw is a guy that I was like, I'm good. And they were talking about when they were mocking him to us in the first round. I'm good. I don't know about all that. So now, what happens? And it's Rick Straw, and I know it's a minor thing, and Coach Campbell said, it's a chest contusion and whatever. The point is, he got hurt on the first day of training camp, bro. The point is this: for all of the good that Brad Holmes has done, he's done a phenomenal job. I feel like Stephen A. Smith when he has his ticker, when he talks about LeBum, right? He's a phenomenal father, a phenomenal philanthropist, a great husband, an activist in the community, a leader of the Detroit Lions, draft Holmes, we call him. So he's a draft aficionado extraordinaire. He's the best general manager that the Detroit Lions have ever had. He's done his part to turn this franchise around from a terrible dumpster fire, landfill of careers and a graveyard of careers type of franchise to one that is a perennial Super Bowl contender. Have I said enough? Have I given him enough praise? Is the glaze dripping from Brad Holmes' bald head? Are you okay with the drip of the glaze? Is there more glaze that needs to be had? If so, please put it in the chat. What are some superlatives and some adjectives that I left out for Brad Holmes? Put it in the chat. We'll read them later. Okay? For all of the good that he's done, this reliance upon, and I listen, it's high risk, high reward. It's a strategy that you use when you're building a team the way that Brad Holmes has had to build this team. Brad Holmes came into this team after the trade not after. He came into this team, this franchise, and immediately traded Matthew Stafford. And from what he got from that, plus Jared Goff, he has done a phenomenal job rebuilding this team. And he had to do it it was torn down to the studs. And he had to do it from nothing, pretty much. We were devoid of talent. We had nobody. Okay? We had a couple players that, we had Frank Ragnow, we had Taylor Decker. We didn't have Penei Sewell. We didn't have Amon-Ra St. Brown. We didn't have Aiden Hutchinson. We didn't have J-Mo. We didn't have Jahmyr Gibbs. We didn't have David Montgomery. We didn't have Kirby Joseph. We didn't have Brian Branch. We didn't have Sam Laporta. We didn't have Jack Campbell. We brought Alex Anzalone in. Didn't have Derek Barnes. Most of the people that we have on this team right now that you would identify as fantastic players, we didn't have them. They weren't here. The cupboard was bare. Okay? At some point, though, this strategy of relying upon injury-prone players comes back to bite you in the rear end. Is this now the time? Because, again, I said Brad Holmes has done a phenomenal job bringing this team to what would be considered perennial Super Bowl contenders. For the foreseeable future, I don't think that there are too many Lions fans that would tell you that they can't see for the foreseeable future the Detroit Lions being in contention for the Super Bowl. Now, there are Detroit Lions fans that don't like Jared Goff. There are Detroit Lions fans that don't like Dan Campbell. There are Detroit Lions fans that don't like this, that don't like that, don't like the other thing. There are some out there who, I don't call them fans, but there are those out there who call themselves fans who are actively rooting for this team to fail because they're same old Lions fans. Most of y'all know this. Back in the day, we used to root for the Lions to fail so that they could fire everybody and get somebody in here because anybody was better than whoever they had at the time. That is no longer the case. No one is asking for Brad Holmes to be fired. No one is asking for Dan Campbell to be fired. None of us want that. But what we do want is to stop looking at these players who are injured and bringing them into the organization. Ife Melifonwu, fantastic player, oft injured, finally went to Miami. He can't help this team this year. And he couldn't help the team when he was on IR. And he couldn't help the team when he was missing a game here and there because of this injury, that injury, the third injury. Emmanuel Mosley, phenomenal cornerback, didn't help this team, not in the least bit, not on the field. Okay, maybe he was off the field as a mentor / coach type of player in the locker room. On the field, he did nothing. He played a total of 3 snaps for us at the cornerback position. I think he played some special teams snaps last year. Okay, Marcus Davenport to this point has played 2 games for the Detroit Lions. This is his second year on the team. He's going into his second year on the team. At some point, the philosophy of Brad Holmes, okay, and Brad Holmes said these words out of his mouth. He doesn't believe in injury-prone players because there's a person that could have an extensive injury history and never get injured again. There's a person that could have 0 injury history and get injured all the time. He's right. But it just seems that the people that have a heavy injury history, a long and lengthy, extensive injury history, continue to get injured when they come to the Detroit Lions. Why is that? And it seems as though the people that don't have any injury at all or injury history at all continue to not get injured when they come to the Detroit Lions. So there are people that say, well, it's Dan Campbell's fault that a lot of these people are getting injured, right? They asked him that question in the press conference, and he said, look, I understand what you're saying. I know what the data says and everything, but we play a certain way and we're going to play that way. And you can't let worry about injury get in the way of what your identity is and what you want your identity to be. Football is a 100% guaranteed injury situation. It's going to happen. You are going to be injured. Right? I can't say injured. You're going to be hurt. Hurt and injured are different things. Are you hurt or are you injured? Okay? Once that happens, once you enter into those, white lines, there's more than a probability of some hurt coming your way. Okay? Is it injury? Yeah, you play long enough, you're probably going to have one injury. Okay? Some people's bodies just break down. Some people's bodies just aren't for it. Some people's bodies repair and it's even stronger and it never get injured again. Some people's bodies repair and then because you've been compensating for something else, another thing gets injured and another thing and another thing. This Levi Onwuzurike news is not great, y'all. Who do you have? Broderick Martin, Roy Lopez, Tyleik Williams. Tyleik might be a monster. He might be a monster. He might be, he might be all on the all rookie team. He might be all pro as a rookie. He might do all these things. Very possible. 100%. No problem. But who you got behind him? We talked about this the last time. We talked about this when I said, well, Levi's on the reserve pup and he's going to miss at least the first 4 weeks of the season. Now he's going to miss the entire season. Who do you have right now that you want to go to war with? Tyleik is a starter because Aleem's not there. So it's Tyleik, it's DJ Reader, it's Marcus Davenport, it's Aiden Hutchinson. And then in the interior, Josh Pascal is, okay, again, injury update. Josh Pascal is may be ready to practice week 1. Taylor Decker, his injury, he's going to be coming back off after the Hall of Fame game, which doesn't matter because he wasn't going to play in it anyway. So essentially, Taylor Decker, who had a little cleanup surgery in the shoulder. Josh Pascal also had a little cleanup surgery as well. I don't know exactly where it was. But Taylor Decker's essentially missing no time. So, this is why we talked about the defensive line for the entire offseason. Okay? And all these injured players that come in, for some reason, when they come here, they just stay injured. I don't know. Maybe injury history does have something to do with you being injured again. It's possible, right? Call me crazy. Actually, call me Motor City Don P. But if you want to call me crazy for viewing it this way, then I guess I'm crazy. Y'all think I'm crazy? I don't think I'm crazy. It just seems to be the writings on the wall. Injury-prone players are injury-prone for a reason. If you are prone to something, that means you are susceptible to it, which means, AKA hitherto, 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish, knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. Swine, my brother. It means that you will have this thing happen to you. If you are prone to getting free Girl Scout cookies, that means you're going to get free Girl Scout cookies somehow, some way. A Girl Scout will walk by your house every day and ring the doorbell and be like, "Hi, sir. I just wanted to give you these Girl Scout cookies because we love your house." You will be in the parking lot driving up to, the local Piggly Wiggly or the Kmart or the Kroger or whatever, and the Girl Scouts will be packing up, and you'll walk by to go in, and they'll be like, "Here, sir, we're leaving, and we don't have room in the car for these cookies. You can have them." Right? You go over a friend's house and you don't even know, and his wife will come down and say, "Babe, we got too many Girl Scout cookies in the pantry. Why don't you give your friend some?" Because you're prone to getting free Girl Scout cookies. If you're prone to getting injured, that's what's going to happen. You're going to get injured. All right, let me get to the chat. Because y'all been popping. So let's see here. Breaking news, Aiden Hutchinson is back. Feel you. Remember what I said about Levi O? What'd you say? Prayers for Levi, says Sailor Outlaw George is hot. Oh. Yes, Brad Holmes love for broken toys is hurting the Lions too much. At this point, I think so. Should AQM start at LB or play in the box as a DE? Guess what? AQM's not practicing either. AQM's hurt somehow. Ennis is now the scarecrow, Mr. Straw. Until proven otherwise. How do you get a chest contusion and ain't nobody hitting? Maybe he fell on the ball. That's the only thing that I can think of is, maybe he went up for a pick and caught it and came down awkwardly and fell on top of the football. I don't know. Hard air. That's the fan. I blame Josh Schuler about all these injuries. Why do you blame Josh Schuler? Apparently because I would expect one-on-one drills versus wide receivers, not a forearm shiver. Maybe he got one though. What up though, Mr. Morale 313? Here's Johnny. What up though? Motown Sports Cat Dog. This is tackle football, not flag. I feel you. Says could hang out with you and grill some damn good food, chopping up all day, any day. I appreciate you. Here's Johnny. Stay away from those hotels in Utica though. All I know is the Lions get Jordan Love and his Packers on September 7th. We're not scared. I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. We don't care. I understand that he's a strength and conditioning coach, but what does he have to do with Levi's ACL or Ennis Rakestraw's chest contusion? I think in any organization, Levi would have torn his ACL. I think in any organization, Ennis Rakestraw would have gotten a chest contusion. I think in any organization, and I have to bring this up just to prove my point. In any organization that Marcus Davenport has played for, he has been injured. There hasn't been a team. He was drafted by the Saints. Then he moved on to the Minnesota Vikings. Then he moved on to the Detroit Lions. Each of his seasons ended in injury, or there were either significant games that he missed, or he just didn't play a full season. Whether he finished the season on IR is inconsequential. If you miss 6 games, okay, and you played 11 and you missed the last 6, it's inconsequential. Whether you missed the first 6, the last 6, the middle 6, you missed 6 games. Okay, so this is the thing I'm saying. I don't look to a strength and conditioning coach because not everybody is getting injured. So that just means that he's doing only part of his job. Does he go to I can't even find a defensive lineman that doesn't get injured. Does he go to Amon-Ra St. Brown and go, I'm going to give you the secret sauce. Shout out Dr. Pierce. Okay. And then he goes to Levi Onwuzurike like, I'm not going to give you the secret sauce. I don't blame a strength and conditioning coach. What up though, Jody Carruthers? Don't be a menace. I forgot what I said. I just be rolling. That's all I wanted when I first followed Everything King. To be honest, he started in his garage talking sports. He just dissed me and said, "Just some guy living in his basement." Oh, that sucks. I don't bring that energy unless you bring it to me. And I really, if I gotta start saying stuff like that to you, I just won't talk to you. Um, let's see. I do not know how to grill bugs. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure you just put them on the grill. Um, but I don't know what that is. Share the space of life. Let's groove tonight. Let's groove tonight. Um, oh, one fish, two fish. Okay, I got you. Yeah. All right. That's fear of the black hat, my friend. Fear of a big black hat. It's not don't be a menace. Um, okay, so let's get to some of these training camp observations. You gotta go with Tim Twentyman on these. Although Doc Macaron has done a fantastic job. I was listening to him on the heavies earlier when I was in the car. Um, so I'll be tapping into some of his as well. But we already know where to go and get these camp notes. Okay. So Arnold, we're going to talk about some Terrion Arnold. Camp notes, Arnold looking to up ball production in year 2. This is from Tim Tonyman. Detroit's defense stood out during Monday's training camp practice at the Meyer Performance Center, and second-year cornerback Terrion Arnold was right in the middle of the action all day. Arnold made a number of plays in both team and 7-on-7 portions of practice, letting his counterparts on offense know about it too. Because, Terrion talks. Terrion talks should be his Twitter handle. I know it's like Arnold Terrion, but he needs to change it to Terrion Talks. So anybody who's going to training camp, let him know that I said change your Twitter handle to Terrion Talks. I'm sure he can do it. Arnold has always been a confident player, even early on as a rookie, but there's a greater level of confidence that comes with being in his second season and already having playing time under his belt. Arnold had a nice start to training camp, and that's a great sign for Detroit's defense. I got experience now. Arnold said after practice Monday, I got a story to tell. Okay. I pride myself on going out there and trying to get the ball. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to trust the process, and I'm staying down for it. Arnold was a starter from day one at one of the outside cornerback spots after the team selected him 24th in last year's NFL draft. He ended up starting 15 games after some early penalty issues, really played some good ball down the stretch. Teams completed just 55.6% of the passes thrown his way as a rookie. Okay? Because remember, what did we say? What was the math we had done? 4%. Something like that, 4.3% of man coverage snaps that he played, he allowed a completion. Okay. So that zone really needs to be, we need to pick up the zone. Okay. Because if you're on 4% of the snaps, now that doesn't mean that just because you played a snap that they threw it in your direction. Okay. That's not what that means. But obviously, even if they did throw it in your direction, a lot of the times in man coverage, it was not completed. The majority of the completions were in zone coverage, which is kind of weird. Because in zone coverage, you can kind of hide the corner. You can scheme them out of certain situations. You can say, just sit in this zone and protect it. Don't let anybody come here. Okay, if they come here, then you break on the ball, you do something. So generally in zone, and this is why I said man coverage is where your bread is buttered as a DB. Okay, unless you're a safety. Okay, because you see our safeties kind of roam. You see Kirby Joseph patrol the back end, the deep thirds, and get all those picks. Okay, he did get his pick six close to the line of scrimmage, but that was after Brian Branch got ejected for what did he get ejected for? Does anybody remember some ticky-tack hit on a supposed defensive player? I think it was, what was that dude's name? Traquavion Valdez. I don't know what his name was, but yeah, very, very ticky-tack hit that they ejected Brian Branch for, and he flipped the birds to Lambeau Field. After that, that is when Kirby Joseph kind of roamed down to around the line of scrimmage and picked Jordan Love and his Packers off for that pick six. So yeah, it's kind of weird. But anyway, I digress. The Lions are expecting Arnold to take a big leap in year two. Arnold is hoping for the same thing, including more ball production. He recorded 60 tackles, 47 solo, and had 10 passes defended, but is still looking for his first career interception in the NFL. Remember, he dropped one or two, so he could have had one already. It's coming, he said. Once you get one, they just start coming. Remember Amani Oruwariye? Remember he had 6 that year? I'd love for Terrion Arnold to have a year like that. Now, Amani Oruwariye had that 1 year, and I don't know what happened to him after that. So we thought he was kind of turning the corner. He was on his way. Not so fast, my friend. I watch tape every day this offseason, thinking about the plays I could have made, and I'm one of those guys who just wants to be a perfectionist. You chase perfection, and you won't fall short of it. You will fall short of perfection because there's no one on this planet that can be perfect, but shoot for the moon. And if you fall short of the moon, you land amongst the stars. So that is kind of the sentiment. Arnold is expected to play a big part in the Lions secondary, which could be one of the strengths of this football team. Terrion Arnold. Is a guy that he has some haters. All I gotta say is what's up, what's happening, all you haters, get at me. Okay, you already know what it is. Use the hashtag. Terrion Arnold is a guy who's had some haters amongst the fan base, and there's a lot of people that are saying, you know what? I don't care what you're saying, Terrion. You just have to produce on the field. Like I said, remember, in man coverage snaps, there was a 4.3% chance that he was going to give up a completion. In man coverage snaps, okay? Again, they don't throw to you every time you're in man coverage. You know a big reason why they don't throw to you or throw at you? It's because you have good coverage. Okay? Y'all knew it was coming. Y'all knew it was coming. I wasn't even planning on it, but I'm talking about corners. Y'all know it's coming. If you look out there and you see Jeffrey Namumbo, oh hell no, Kuda, you're throwing. He probably had about a 70%, maybe 80%, rate of him lining up in man coverage snaps where the ball was thrown in his direction and caught. Okay? Because his coverage is trash. If you have Terrion Arnold out there who's got good sticky coverage, as I've been saying to you people, then you don't throw his way. Just like when you saw Sauce Gardner. Now, no. Is Motor City Don P comparing Terrion Arnold to Sauce Gardner? No, he's not. He's not doing that. But you got Terrion Arnold out there. Just like when you had Sauce Gardner out there, they look over at Sauce and they're like, I'm not throwing it because he's got good coverage. That's all I'm saying about Terrion Arnold. You look over there, you say, well, I'm not throwing it because he's got good coverage. Not going to do it. I just won't do it. It won't be done by me. Maybe some other quarterback. I ain't finna do it. And that's how they got down. What y'all got? What y'all got? See, we got. I said we're gonna have a lot of stuff today. Um, yes, AQM is not practicing. It's probably something minor or whatever, but he's at camp. He ain't practicing. Alex Anzalone is at camp and not practicing, and that's something we're going to talk about a little bit later. We're about to get into some Tate Ratledge stuff. Uh, oh, they did it on Don't Be a Menace 2. Okay. I was thinking about the original one though. JMO looks and sounds confident. That's what I like to see. Listen, I'm going to try to get easy because, again, I had planned to go to training camp this year, but the math didn't math. I got a hookup on some tickets, but that hookup was looking less and less hookupy when it was like, oh, you still got to pay the taxes for the tickets. And I was like, how much the taxes? Oh, 300-400. Well, damn. What am I getting? Oh, what's my discount? So yeah, that's why I am not there in Detroit right now. Well, actually, I wasn't even going to be there now. I was thinking about going the last week of camp. Yeah. But what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to shout out Easy, see if he can, when he goes to camp, see if he can get JMO to sign something for the official keeper of the JMO and give me a shout out. So that's the plan. If y'all see Easy before I do, which I could just text them now, but no. Yeah, that's the campaign. JMO needs to sign something for the official keeper of the JMO and shout him out. Be like, shout out the official keeper of the JMO, Motor City Don P. You know, I know he don't watch me, but so he can is at least I'm not blocked by JMO on social media. At least he didn't block me because I don't just say crazy stuff about JMO. I'm the biggest JMO defender that you will see, right? As a content creator, I don't know if anyone defends JMO the way that I do. Let's see. Taquavion, yes. Taquavion Valdez or Vasquez, whatever I said. Go Lions stole the Packers heads chant since the 15-9 victory versus Rodgers at Ford Field with son Willie. That's what's up. What up though, Kurt Steele? Let's see. Tip expeditiously. Enzo has a supposed hamstring strain. Like there are groin straining his bank account. They're hamstringing his bank account. That's why his hamstring hurts. You see what I did there? Waymo is looking like he's going to have a big season in 2025, looking tough in that number 1 jersey. For sure. You know what? Listen, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna get something for y'all. Cause y'all think the number 1 runs deep. Okay? I'm gonna get something. Get one second. I'm gonna be right back. All right. As I said, I've been okay. I've been that number one the entire time, man. You understand what I'm saying? I've been him. So me and my man, JMO, we kindred spirits, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't have my Mad Camels one. I don't know what happened to that one, but that was number one too. I was number one in high school. I've been number one for many years. You know, number one in your programs, number one in your heart. You already know what it is. The man is still Kurt Steele. All right. So Tate Ratledge. I was listening to Dose of Dion for a bit while I was in the car yesterday. He was the only one live during that time, so shout out to him. He said Tate Ratledge is going to be your center week one. I was like, man, Tate Ratledge being your center week one is a bold take. But then at the same time, you have to go back to Terrion Arnold. Terrion Arnold was a rookie cornerback who they gave the most man coverage snaps. They threw him into the fire. He had an up and down season. It was rocky to start out with, but they threw him directly into the fire and said, go not get burnt. And for the most part, he was largely unscathed by that fire. He got some minor burns, first degree. None of them were third degree burns like Jeffrey Namumbo Nakuda. I got to do it, bro. I got to do it. That man is my nemesis. That man is a shame. That man is a blight on the number one. Okay? Tate Ratledge from Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's been talking up Tate Ratledge playing center. They're giving him every opportunity to play center. Graham Glasgow doesn't need to play it because Graham Glasgow can do anything. Right? Graham Glasgow can do anything, according to Dan Campbell. That's what he said. He said, for Graham Glasgow, the important thing for him in camp is not to do too much. That's what he said. Tate Ratledge is currently taking first team reps as the center. It is a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how that works out for him. Tate Ratledge, rookie guard, center week one? Week one? Against the Packers? Rashawn Gary and them boys? Now, according to Doc, and I needed to get Doc on, I dropped the ball on that one. I'm telling you, I'm doing a lot. Okay? I dropped the ball on that one. I need to get to Doc and contact him and see when we could have him on the show. I'll have another announcement to make. Don't know when I'll make the announcement, but I want to be sure that it's happening. Where you'll find me somewhere else as well. I'm everywhere, baby. You know what I'm saying? This is the year of the Motor City Cat. I'm on LNU. I'm Motor City Cats. I'm gonna be somewhere else. You know what I mean? Shout out Lion Syndicate. You understand what I'm saying? Your boy getting around. Pause. So it's gonna be interesting to see. As I said, Doc said that Tate looks the part. Big, strong, athletic. He looks menacing and dominant. Tate Ratledge, I'm tell you this. Tate Ratledge is 6'8". Centers aren't generally that tall. You know what I mean? Like, look at Jason Kelsey. Look at Dominic Raiola. These are, they're not short. I mean, I can't recall anybody short, but I'm just saying, like, in the grand scheme of things, those aren't the 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" guys. You're talking about tackles. Interior offensive linemen are generally not as tall as the tackles. Now you got some guards that are 6'5" and things of this nature, but yeah, 6'8" is kind of big for a center. But if he's got the ability and he can play the position, that's great. But again, as a rookie, he's got a lot to do as a center, man. He's got to know that playbook like the back of his hand. He has to be able to call protections. But I forget who it was that said it. It might have been Frank, but I don't remember who it was. Who was saying that? Okay, the center doesn't have to call the protections. It's just the protections have to be called. So if he's playing next to Graham Glasgow, the protections are going to be called, right? If he's playing next to Graham Glasgow and Graham Glasgow is still calling the protections, then you can use the big, mauling ability of Tate Ratledge at center. If Tate Ratledge is your center day one, I do not believe that the line calls will be on him. I think that is something that he's going to have to ease into. I think from day one, Tate Ratledge is just, his responsibility is going to be understanding the playbook, understanding what Jared likes. Okay, because you have to have that timing, that cohesiveness, that continuity with your quarterback as a center. Graham Glasgow already has that. But if they're moving Tate to center because of his ability, now Doc said, I think it was a bit tongue in cheek, but Doc said that he's going to make people forget about Frank Ragnow soon enough. I don't know about all that. But I think if he's going to be your starter week one, it's going to have to move in phases. I don't think that they can put everything on that man's plate as a rookie center who has never played the position, right? He is a guard. He's a right guard. He hasn't played the center position. So they're going to move him to center. I'm sure they will be 100% smart about it. And they'll say, okay, here's your responsibility. Here's your responsibility. That's it. Just these two things. Okay, you worry about your quarterback and you worry about the playbook. The line calls, adjusting the protections, all that, we'll leave that to Graham. So I think that's the route that they're going to take if indeed he is the guy week one. If he's the guy later in the season, if they make this the change like after the trade deadline, I don't even know. I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if you want to change centers in the middle of the season. So I did think that it was going to be Tate Ratledge later. But based off of what Dan is saying, and they're giving him all these opportunities to succeed as the center, I mean, that's who they want, So we know when they want somebody, they say, now look, I likes you and I wants you. Now we can do this the easy way or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours. Pause. Use the hashtag. Let me get to the chat. That's what's up. I'm a JMO stan as well. Well, Kurt Steele, you can be part of the official keepers of the JMO. I need to get the merch and get it popping. Got to find out who's lining against Tate Ratledge on all these snaps, though. Right now, I believe who would be lining up against Tate Ratledge would be whatchamacallit, Tyleek. Tyleek Williams is probably lining up against Tate Ratledge. So he's going to get a mix of Tyleek and DJ Reader. Fleece Johnson pause. All the pauses. Did y'all see? Did y'all see Desi go ahead and get Fleece Johnson? Did you see? Did you? That's not a skit I would have done at all. Not in the least bit. No, sir. No, sir. That's not the kind of warrior I want around me in any capacity. I'm done with that one. No pads, no football. So with all these injuries, you would think they're playing football. Just like Taylor May said, how are you getting injured and ain't nobody hitting? How you got a chest contusion and ain't nobody hitting? Now, I would be remiss if I talked about the defensive line and I didn't mention one Ahmed Hassanin. It looks like he's going to get a lot of opportunities to prove himself in this training camp. Broderick Martin is going to get a lot of opportunities to prove himself in this training camp because they just don't have the depth. Okay, they're still dealing with injuries from last year. However, Mekhi Wingo and Malcolm Rodriguez apparently were seen working vigorously with trainers. Malcolm Rodriguez was apparently sprinting. For a guy that is not supposed to be back until November, sprinting in July is good. So who knows? You might see Rodrigo back earlier than expected. It happens. Sometimes people come back early, but you know, the Lions are notorious. Well, this regime is notorious for being cautious. So even if he's ready to go, I don't know that he is going to go before November, but we'll see what kind of, if they need his services. What up, Ron Winarski? What up, though? He says, I'm getting the Gibbs Mosaic rookie card graded. Is he good? Gibbs? Ron Winarski, are you trolling? Are you trolling, Ron Winarski? Is Gibbs good? Right? Are my buffs real? I'm sorry, that's a bad example. Ron Winarski is not trolling. Gibbs is fantastic. You know what? Thank you, Ron Winarski, because that brought up something that I forgot to talk about. Listening to Dan Campbell's press conference, being his anger translator and everything of this, like reading between the lines, David Montgomery is no longer your starting running back. It is Jahmyr Gibbs' job. There's still going to be a 1-2 punch. But for the purposes of penciling in a starter, it is Jahmyr Gibbs. Okay? Sorry, I just got a text about some money, man. I'm talking about, gotta answer them texts. Jahmyr Gibbs is your starter. So when Dan Campbell says there's a place for him when they're talking about David Montgomery, that's not what you say about a starter. And he was talking about, it's rare to have a 1-2 punch like him and Gibbs, and they're going to use that for sure. There's a place for him. They're even going to use him and Gibbs on the field together. Remember, we've been begging freaking Osama bin Johnson. Huh? We were begging Osama. Hey, put them on the field together. We need to see that. Dan Campbell said at the press conference, they are going to do that. He didn't say we're going to see about it. We're going to try it out. They are going to do that. So you are going to see 2-back sets with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Okay, so that's great news for everyone. Great news for everyone. Let's see. November, man, the Lions have to get to September 1st. Yeah, they got to get there, but the people that are supposed to be back in November. But Rodrigo might be back beforehand. Not next man up, it's next least injured man up. All right. So those are the updates. I think I got to all of them. Alex Anzalone again at training camp, not practicing, aced his conditioning test, but I guess during the conditioning test he pulled his hamstring. So his hamstring is going to get better once there's ink on a contract. Once that ink dries, I believe that he'll be fine. Until then, he's going to be a bit gimpy, going to be limping around, talking about eyes tight. So, it is what it is. Yeah, so I think that's all of the updates that we got today. So, mailbag, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they reading you? Mailbag, six, mailbag. Get your mailbag questions in. Get them in. Bask in it. Oh, I can't do the other part of that. I can't do the other part of that. You have a diverse audience. Cannot do that other part. Bask in it. Get your mailbag questions in. Okay. Yeah, I know who that is. All right, TaylorMade says, mailbag. How is Doc the only cat getting questions in at camp? Bro, that's a good question. I mean, I'm sure Jeremy Reisman is getting questions in. I don't know about, I'm guessing Risden is getting in, but okay, I'm going to say this gently. Doc may be the one that you watch. So because he's the one that you watch, you recognize his voice and you notice his content. Was that gentle enough, the way that I said that? At first I didn't know who this was. It's a client of mine who doesn't work with with time. Like I'm like, just give me 24 hours. But she don't never do that. She just be popping up an hour beforehand, or at least this time is about, 6 hours. So at least I have some time. Mailbag. He the only one walking around with credentials. Well, I know some others that claim to have credentials, but they are not getting the time of day, I guess, because they have punchable faces and nobody wants to deal with them. Freep and Detroit News and others were asking questions as I saw on videos. So, just a fan. The question is very pointed. There are layers underneath that question, and when you peel back the layers of the onion, makes you want to cry. Anyway, see Detroit Lions players and coaches pressers for 720 and say, yeah. So these are layers. These are layers. Question's got a lot of weight to it. It's not as straightforward as it seemed to be. All right. Do we have any more mailbag questions? We got any more? Get them in. Shoot, when did she send me this? I no longer have a merch store. I had one. Shopify closed it down because I got tired of paying them. So I stopped paying them for a very long time, and they finally shut it down completely. But it wasn't for Lions merch. If y'all are looking for some Lions merch that's not like some creator-centric Lions merch, make sure that y'all get over to Lions Syndicate and get some merch there. I just want the official keeper of the JMO merch. And I easily could sell it because I've already had like 2 stores. So I easily could do that. So I don't know. Maybe I'll make it. We'll put a poll in the chat at some point and ask if anyone would purchase the official keeper of the JMO shirts if I made them. Mailbag. Do you expect the Lions to bring in additional defensive talent before the Hall of Fame game? Before the Hall of Fame game, no. Because, I mean, you said talent. If they're bringing in anyone before the Hall of Fame game, these are just guys. Not to say that they're not talented, but when you say talent, I think of someone who can make a difference, not just be a camp body. So I don't think that they will be doing that before the Hall of Fame game. If they're not going to sign Za'Darius Smith, which at this point blows my mind. Who was that was telling me the other day that Za'Darius Smith, T-Bone Lokes in one of the chats or one of the comments on one of my videos, he said Za'Darius Smith just signed a Fago deal. So he's trying to be around Michigan for a while. So if they don't sign someone like Za'Darius Smith, then they're going to be looking at training camp cuts to bring someone in. And that's not going to happen before the Hall of Fame game. If someone gets cut before the Hall of Fame game, no need. No need. I'm right here. So no. All right. That's going to be it for me today. Gonna go ahead and get back to work before I have to get back to work. But appreciate y'all once again. If you are not currently a subscriber of the Motor City Cats, please do me a favor. Go right on over there. It's Motor City Cats at YouTube, right? Go right on over there and make sure that you subscribe. We are on our way back to a thou wow. And we're going to sustain it and actually see the money from YouTube, which I never saw before. But that's neither here nor there. So make sure you go and you smash that like button, you smash that subscribe button, you smash that share button so that you can share it with your friends and family, because sharing is caring. And if you care about your friends and family who are also Lions fans, you need to share the Motor City Cats with them, because we keep the Lions news pragmatic. Once again, the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. We came to give you stats, not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic, and we are out. Peace.